All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the HeadSet podcast here. I have not one, but two tag team partners in today's conversation. We have not one, not two, but three goaltenders in the house. It's going to get loud. It's going to get crazy. And I think we might accidentally laugh once today. I want to introduce today my partner in crime with HeadSet Sports, Mr. Peter Papadogiannis, co-founder of HeadSet Sports. Pete, how are you?
Buddy, doing well, doing well. Thanks for the invite for today's podcast.
Thank you for making it.
I should have brought my old goalie helmet.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking. The old mask would have been nice.
Like that beer commercial.
Oh, yeah, the old Bond mask. Not even the new old Bond mask.
Oh, my goodness. Well, today, our special guest today is someone that I contacted with and connected with maybe about a month ago. And I got to tell you, I said hello to him, and for almost an hour, I did nothing but laugh my ass off. Today, we have professional goaltending coach, former goaltending coach, New York Islanders, Mr. Marc Champagne. Marc, thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient.
No problem. It's my pleasure. You got to share the game, share the love.
Buddy, I have so many things to ask you, and you know, when we spoke last, it's amazing how small the world is. It's amazing how small the world is, and how many people we know, and you know, I've got so many things to ask you, and the first thing off the top of my head is how did you slide in to doing this goaltending coaching thing from your career? When you finished your career, how did you end up getting into this?
By accident. What happened is I was teaching at John Rennie High School part-time, and I always played nets, and they had a Sportstud program that started way back with Jim Webster, and I started liking going on the ice and teaching the goalies, and from there, I applied to Lewiston in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League in 2004, and under Clément Jodoin. I was with the Montreal Canadiens. He was their assistant coach for a long time, and I took off from there and did 3 years there. Then went to Bathurst, and then for Bathurst went to Moncton. I've been around the Q almost 10 years, and then one day I went to the draft and I had an itching. I knew an agent. And I asked him, I said, ready to go to the NHL? And he gave me an email of Garth Snow, and I sent my email to Garth Snow, and lo and behold, a week later, I got an interview in Connecticut where they were. And 2 weeks later, they told me I got the job. So I was like,
wow.
You know, it's just the right timing at the right place. You know, I mean, but I had successful goalies. I got a chance to work with a lot in the queue, so it really helped me a lot. But it's the people around you that help you.
Yeah. Hey, Marc, very quickly, when you go to different junior teams, are you still in your hometown, or do you have to move to?
No, I traveled.
You travel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Bathurst was about 8 hours to New Brunswick, and then Moncton is about 10 hours. I'd take the plane, you know, and then I'd be living in a billet family over there and do my work and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With your New York Islanders interview, any memorable questions that were asked in regards to the work that you've done?
Well, what was funny is I arrived in my suit, and it was about hot like this today, and they had shorts on and you know, khaki shorts, t-shirts, and I was like sweating like a dog. So I didn't know if I did the right thing by wearing a suit or not. I was sweating.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, it's the first impression, right? You want to put shirt, tie. You want to be presentable.
Yeah.
You know, and these guys come out like college boys. So I was like, okay. And my friend, and my head, I was speaking French to myself. You idiot. You know, you're dressing too nice. You know. But I didn't say anything. I was calm. I asked them for a lot of water, though.
Yeah.
But so Marc, I'm really curious to know, right? Like you met with Garth Snow. Garth Snow was legendary goaltender. Played in the NHL for many years, very successful. I remember Garth Snow coming into the league, guys. And I don't know if you guys do, but what I remember is this monster with
Yeah.
the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Right? He had the
Illegal.
shoulder pads. It started like from his like earlobes, right? So
Yeah.
he was this massive guy, and he had shoulders like up to here, and I'm like, this is just so like not fair, right?
Yeah.
And this was back in the day where you had the Patrick Waugh bedspread T-shirt, right? Like
Yeah.
you know, not even. It was 10 times bigger than what was legally allowed, right? So I remember the big guys.
Yeah.
But I also remember watching Garth Snow play, and he was
Yeah.
really good. And for
Yeah.
a big guy, he moved very well. And I'm wondering, when you come in and you're interviewing with a guy who was an incredible athlete himself in the same position, do they ask you, like, how you're going to coach the guys and what you
don't forget, I had two goalies interview me. It was Mike Dunham too. So I had two all-stars right in front of me.
Well, they played together, didn't they? Weren't they?
They played together, yeah.
They were a tandem, right? At the
Yes, they were.
University of Maine.
I think they were. Yeah, they were at University of Maine. And the first question, I still can't remember, but I guess they liked my enthusiasm, because I have a lot of energy, and I was bringing that to the forefront. And any question they're asking me, and there's a few things that Gard asked me, and I told him, and he didn't know about. So the L theory and how to control that and stuff. So he wanted me to he was asking me how it works, and I showed him. And after that, the interview went so well. I mean, I didn't think of it when I left. I mean, I hoped I get the job, but
Right.
you know, there's other people there too. So
it's interesting because, you know, with your background and working with so many amazing athletes, and we're going to talk about one specific one that you've had tremendous amount of success with.
yeah,
It's amazing to me to think about what it must be like when you're in that environment and you're explaining to them like how you do what you do, and
right.
and also educating these guys a little bit on, hey, the game's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, Peter and I, we have a buddy in Toronto that went to a very successful goalie school.
Oh, nice.
And he's fantastic, and I love him like the brother I should have had. But when he comes to teach, he knows that I think old school. So
Right.
every time he's in the net and he's about to show like the new techniques, he'll start laughing, and when he'll look at me and he'll like, I know Jay's not gonna like this, right? And
Yeah.
he puts stories in the kids' heads, and they'll say, "Coach, you're old school. You're old school."
Right.
Do you have to educate these GMs and these player development guys on the new things?
Well, today the kids, like, they come to camps, they're already prepared. They already have personal coaches. They have their trainers. So kids it's not like it used to be like when we played. I mean, I remember going to Tretiak Hockey School, and I was crooked. So, I mean, he took the time to teach me, and that's what I was trying to do to the kids. But like I said, today they all got their personal goalie gurus everywhere here in Montreal. I mean, it's over Quebec, it's everywhere. So, I mean, when you get to the kids, they're already prepared for what they need to do. I mean, it's incredible how it changed.
Yeah,
you know.
It's amazing how much the game has changed, right? Like
Yeah.
I talk about the one goalie school that I went to as a kid, and Peter, I don't even know if I ever told you this, but I went to Jim Park goalie school.
Oh wow!
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Jimmy would come out with a big lipper in, tallest man. Like, I couldn't believe a goalie could be that big, a big man. And he had this voice, and he'd talk to you like this, just like he parked a big rig out in the back and get out there.
Yeah.
And say, I want you big. I want you standing up, right? And his big thing was skate save. That should be a skate save, right? And you drop to your knee, you turn your ankle out, and you turn your ankle out, right? And everything in the corner, put it in the corner, right? And it's like, oh my God, right? And that's how it was built in my head. And now you guys know, like, you so don't even make that move anymore.
No,
when you look at the new goalie equipment, the skates are no longer even made to make that save.
Right.
Everything's evolved to the, and it's not just that the equipment has gotten better, lighter, and it does more, and it protects you more. But the equipment has changed so much that you no longer can play a certain way not so long ago.
No, the gear is made to enhance your performance, and that's now. Like remember, you used to have the white part of the skates.
Yeah,
It's all gone now. It's all gone for more lightness and more speed. I mean, it blends in with the pads, so everything is covered down low. There's no more holes, as you say. But sometimes the puck still leaks in. Sometimes.
yeah.
You know.
Do you like the new style now? Do you like the new way that kids are being taught to play?
I like it. It's just that sometimes it's overkill. You don't see the poke checks that sometimes you could use, or stand up a little bit longer on a shot.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, the guys are so good. I mean, at the NHL level, I mean, they'll stop anything.
Yeah,
The
they're great
young,
athletes too.
yeah,
Their athleticism is crazy to watch.
yeah, the younger guys just need to learn and play games. And it's nice to be, like I said, it's nice to go all these hockey schools and technical schools and stuff like that. But you're burning yourself by the time November comes around, you're burnt out in your season.
Yeah.
Because they want to overdo it. They overdo everything. So that's the bad part of it, I find.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask in regards to you mentioned that all these kids have these specialty coaches, goaltending coaches growing up, but when you get them, is it challenging to work because they're just used to this way, and then you got your way, right?
It is because they challenge you.
Yeah. I can see that.
I had one kid once just doing off ice once, and I don't know, it's just a small story. I was telling him to work hard, and he says, it was something in French. He said, "What'd you do in hockey?" I just came back next day with my memorial, with the President Cup ring.
Wow.
They shut him up for the rest of the week.
But okay, and this blends into my first big question. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to sound like an old guy. I don't want to sound like that guy. But there would never have been a day that I would have even thought about challenging a coach. Never.
That's today's.
And I'm going to tell you a story, right? I'll never forget this. And I've told this story a million times in hockey schools.
Right.
Peter and I are training with probably the best, if not second best goalie coach I ever had in my life.
Right.
College together.
Right.
And at this time, one of the biggest thrill in my life was the two of us had a chance to practice with Curtis Joseph for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So for 2 months, we had this guy, and oh my God, he was the greatest guy. We had so much fun with him. Peter and I gave him a hard time every day. It was great, and he was like one of the guys, instantly.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. We're doing a drill, where the drill was a bread and butter drill, right? And the drill went like this, right? There was like 2 shots. You came on out, you made a save, and then you got up and you did a 2-pad slide.
Right.
You made the second save and you got up, recovered, and away you went, right? And it was like a merry-go-round.
Right.
So Peter gets in, he gets up, he does this thing, right? I get up, I do my best, right? Curtis Joseph gets in, he faces the shot, he comes flying on over, and he's standing up. Boom, makes a save. And we go around the rotation like 2 times. And you can see that our goal coach is a little bit off, right? A little bit
right.
And he stops the drill, he comes over and he goes, guys, just remember, when you get up and you make the second save, you got to do a 2-pad slide, right? So everyone kind of nods, we go back to the drill, right? Peter and I down and up, 2-pad slide, down and up, 2-pad slide. Curtis Joseph, down up, standing up, boom, comes on over. Mm-hmm. So the coach stops the drill, and he comes over, and he goes, Curtis, I don't know if you heard, but we're going to make a 2-pad slide coming this way. And his face goes red.
Right.
And it puts his head down, and he looks up, and he's like, Coach, I don't really do that. And Peter and I just look at each other like, what? Like, that's bread and butter. Like, what are you talking about, right?
Yeah.
And what he was trying to say in the most professional, subtle, humble way was, I'm so fast, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And the difference is, you have, in my opinion, a guy who could potentially be a Hall of Famer in time.
Yeah.
Telling a university goalie coach, hey, listen, I don't really do that because I'm kind of fast.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, you're dealing with young guys who've done, they haven't even really made it yet. And they're saying, who are you?
Right.
So my question is, what's the toughest part in coaching today's young athletes?
Well, the toughest part is like I said, today they want to know what it's for, and everything is why. But in our day, we did it because they told us to do it. They want to have a reason why they have to do it. And then you have to just break it down and talk to them and show them. I mean, the video, because when we do our camps, I do video before going on the ice, so they know what exactly they're working on that day. So it's in their head. They saw it like a couple of video sessions with Yaroslav Halak, and then they're like, oh, okay, now we understand why you're doing it. I mean, but that's today's generation. They're gonna challenge you. You just got to be ready as a coach. And you can't take out the whip anymore. You just gotta adapt to them too.
Yeah, but it almost has like a good combination, like both kind of old school and now the new school is Curtis Joseph J. He was really humble, right? He's an NHL guy. He worked harder than any guy on the ice.
Oh. Yeah, it's like Jonathan Quick. He's a guy that will combine maybe 2 bad stats with a butterfly slide, but the guy is so good at it. I wouldn't tell my guy to change it. Just keep doing what you're doing. If it helps you, if we start seeing some problems in it, then we'll start working on it 3 or 4 days. But
Marc, you've worked with so many different goalies, and you've worked with some of the best on the planet. And I remember you telling me some stories of what it was like when you were in Moncton and you were working with a young goalie that we'll talk about, Yaroslav Halak.
That was Lewiston.
Lewiston, sorry.
Right.
So let me ask you this. What's it like for you when you're working with pros and they're up and down, right? They're going from the minors on up, or they're going back to junior hockey.
Yeah.
What is the mental side of the game like for you?
Well, for the pros, they already have their routine, they have their preparation, so the mental side for them is already prepared. It's already done, so they know what to do and how to prepare. With the younger kids, you have to show them. You have to teach them how to prepare for a game day. You have to teach them how to prepare and have good practices and make them have good, solid routines that's going to help them in the long run in their career. Because if they don't have a routine, they're going to be up and down. It's going to be like a roller coaster. So, I mean, the mental side is important. So we'll sit down and I'll ask them questions, and I usually write a board. And my cat's annoying today. He's just annoying. And what I do, I put a word on one side, attitude, and I put talent on the other side. And I ask the kids, I have them sit down, write on a piece of paper, and I ask them, what is it to be a goalie? And you have to put words in the column of attitude and a column of talent. And what we're looking for is the 100% at the end. So what is goaltending at the end of the day? So, but they have to break it down themselves.
Yeah,
and then keep that piece of paper, because during the season they're going to lose that. They're going to lose that in their mask, and they're going to freak out. So they have to go back to it.
Yeah, well said. And we've been interviewing from podcasts to Instagram Live, a lot of goalies since we're in that network. But they say as players and maybe as new coaches if they retired, the same thing.
Yeah.
Positive attitude, preparation.
Yeah.
Right. Those are and if there are young goalies but athletes, you got to remember that is and work hard.
But see, like you said, preparation and all that. And then I look at the kid, I'm going, well, what column is going to go into? And then they're thinking, I go, well, attitude. I said, what is preparation? I make them break it down more. not just generalize it. A lot of them say, well, work hard. What is work hard?
Oof.
You know, I really make them break it down.
Yeah, and that's where you get the blank stare, or they get the.
Oh, that's when they're starting to go, we're lost.
Yeah, but what a great opportunity, though, right? What a great opportunity as they're, because we talk about mental skills in sports. Like for goalies, the goalie coach is that person.
Right. We're more like the uncle. We're like the big uncle in the family, because you know we're the ones that get shot at. I remember a game we lost in Gatineau, and we lost 9-4, and my GM was Sean Couturier's dad, and he just shot me. It was not a shot. You know, in French, I couldn't say the words, but it was coming out. So, you know, you take a shot, a bullet for the goalie, but sometimes you want the goalie to, you know, hey, take a shot too, because, you know, plus we're young, we're starting in our career. We don't have a manual. No one really told us that. You know, I mean, you start talking to other goalie coaches and guys that played. The biggest thing I had was I had Gilles Gilbert, my first goalie coach, then François Allaire for 10 years, and then Roland Melanson for 8. So I had a lot of guys that, okay, some guys played the game and some guys didn't play the game, but you ask the questions and they're good enough, they're going to answer you.
Oof. Those are great teachers, but like those are, you mean, unbelievable people to be able to fall back on. But it's a support piece, right? Like goalies, but just athletes need to know who to go to at the right time. Right?
And don't forget sometimes too, I mean, I'm not going to, it's hard because in juniors, don't forget the kids are there. They got their agents, they got their parents. So we have to deal with the kid. We're not dealing with, because then the agents say something after, the parents say something after. So the kid's mind is not, I remember I had Johnson Bernier right behind Yaroslav in Lewiston. You know, the biggest test for me was him, because I couldn't go. You know, I had issues at the border. His dad was mad at me because I couldn't go. I turned around and I looked at his dad. I just wanted to say something, but I didn't. You know, I was being polite, but, you know, I mean, give me a break here. But, you know, I'm trying to fix my own situation to come and teach your kid.
Right.
You know, but, and then the agent was on me. It's always, you have to manage. You have to be a good manager.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yeah.
So question for you then when you're dealing with these young guys, is there a common challenge, Marc, that you have with every kid coming up?
It's the personalities.
Yeah.
Especially the you got the high maintenance guys, and then you got the guys you got to kick in the ass. I'm sorry, but that's the way I am.
Yeah.
You know, especially the young ones. You got the guys that want to improve, get better. They're high maintenance, so you have to be around them all the time. And then you got the guys that sometimes you scratch your head. You're going, how did these scouts draft these guys? Because I always looked at character. Character is the biggest thing. That's going to help you in the third period for a big save or thing. And it just baffles me sometimes. It just baffles. You know, it's the personalities. When you get to the pros, no, the guys know. They know what they're doing. They're paid for it, well paid for it. Sometimes you got to give them a little kick in the arse. And I did that in New York one time at a practice. And one morning, I had all 3 goalies because we had a 3 goalie tandem. And one morning, these guys didn't want to feel like working. Well, I had them in the middle, and we had a big chat. A big chat. I said, I don't care where I come from, but where I come from, you got to go up the stairs, boys, and it ain't gonna happen like that. It's not gonna happen here. So either you get back to work or just get off the ice.
Wow. How was that?
Yeah, it was my first year.
Oh, even.
Yeah.
How was that received by those guys?
I got off the ice. They're all working.
Wow.
Yeah, I went in the room. All I heard was skating moving.
I love it. So
well, I'm tough, but I'm fair. But I am tough. A lot of people you talk to don't know I'm tough. You know,
yeah, but it also sounds like you're open communication, right? Sometimes it's to the point, and you need that. But it seems like you always came back, be it the young guys or the pro guys. It's like a little small team within the team.
They're always going to test you, anyways. The kids are going to test you, and even the pros, they test you. I had Grice test me once. I told him, don't do it again.
Wow. So let me ask you this. You have a talented kid. Kid comes in, he's got all the mechanics.
Right.
He's got size, he's got the ability. How do you, with all of your experience, how do you assess the character?
The character of the boy
Yeah.
that comes the first time, like in juniors or in the pros.
Either.
Well,
I'm curious.
at the end of the day, I'm old school like you guys are, and I always say, who stops the puck? Who stops the puck? I don't care if you're technical. I don't care if you're all crooked. Does he keep the puck out? We had a goalie, and I'm going to give you a great example. I was at the Monctonian back then. It was a big tournament every year for major AAA kids. This kid was from Labrador. Okay, he had old goalie gear on. Poorest kid I think I ever saw. He made 66 saves in a game to win the game.
Oh my
We
goodness.
drafted him, became #1 goalie in the queue.
Wow.
Stop the puck.
Wow.
He stopped the puck. You know.
Can I ask about the character of him then? Like, let's bring it back to him.
His character, I had to kick him in the ass.
Okay.
Yeah, different. But he had the game. He was a gamer. He just go and play the game. He was playing. But in drills, oh my God, he was disgraceful.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a disgrace. I tell him sometimes, get off the ice, go sharpen your skates, because if you don't, I'm gonna come and I'll come and help you. He ran off the skate, get the skates back up, you know. But he listened, and he became one of the top goalies in the queue. So
yeah,
it's how you manage the kids at the end of the day. I mean, you got a lot of coaches that just taps them on the. I always say you got your buddy coaches and you got your real coaches. What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? You want a buddy coach that taps you on the pads, and that's it, or you want somebody to push you?
Is it different overseas? Because I know you were overseas as well. Would that be a different?
It is different overseas because their mentality is hard work. I love working with the Europeans. Completely different animal. They're how can I say it? They're born to that's what they want. They want to be pros. You know, so it's easier to teach them. It scratched my head when I come back to Canada, and all these kids are spoiled. They're spoiled kids today. They get everything, and they don't want to work for it.
Yeah.
You know, and then I get in arguments sometimes with the guys at the end of the day because I'm too tough with them. Well, you know.
In all my years, and again, I'm sounding like an old person right now. I don't think I've had a person say you're too tough. I don't really know. Like,
I got a lot of them this year. I got 3 or 4 reports. I was too tough this year. Too tough. So but I'm like, okay, this is an academy. You guys want your players to become top goalies, but their response is something different. So I'm like, okay, so that's your mentality. My mentality is to make this kid a better goalie if he signed up in the program.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself in a situation, Marc, where you're coaching to these young athletes in a way where it has nothing to do with so much their performance on the ice in the game, but to be a better teammate or to be a better...
Yes. I had a lot of goalies that self-centered, think about themselves, don't think about the logo. That pisses me off, like really, because it's a team game, win or lose. If you're not battling or competing in nets, the guys see it on the bench, and they won't compete for you. And if they see you competing in nets, you just see it in the NHL or anybody else. The guy is battling back there. The players are there for you, and they're going to help you. So it really irritates me a lot when I see a kid being self-centered.
Mm.
See, for me, that's character.
Yeah.
For me, that's character, right? Because at the end of the day, anybody who's going to any kind of job interview, whether it's starting goalie or to get a job as an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, everyone is going to say, I work hard.
Yeah.
There's no one that's ever going to go to a job interview and say, I really don't like to work that hard, to be quite honest with you, right? So everyone's going to work hard. And you're going to have a certain level of skill, I believe, to even get the job interview.
Right.
So looking at character, to me, character is so much more. And I find myself over the years nowhere close to you and the experiences you've had, but I've had a lot of opportunities to talk to kids about how to be a good teammate. And in our position, I will constantly refer to Mr. Allaire, who you worked with and worked under.
Yeah.
And I'll say, not even one of the greatest goalie coaches on the history of the planet can teach you to make that team play for you.
No.
And I've seen a tremendous amount of guys that I played against who might not have been all that big, might not have been all that great.
Right.
For whatever reason, the team rallied around them. You know,
that's true.
When that guy was in net, the team just played better.
But you see the difference. You saw the difference when Carrier was playing in Montreal with Yarrow. The year that Yarrow had about a couple of years that he was already behind, and you saw the difference. The players were playing in front of Yarrow, and they weren't playing in front of Carrier. I mean, the big guy had to learn from Yarrow, and I don't know the whole topics of the story, but I mean, at the end of the day, Yarrow was competing for his teammates and he was winning games.
Yeah.
So, you know, the other guy had to sit down and watch.
But
and learn.
I remember from that story and that time, I remember, and again, this is dating again, there was a news article where Carey Price actually learned from that and stayed on the ice, even though he wasn't playing towards the end of that year, which actually helped him get into the better graces of his teammates.
Yeah, it's a wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a wake up call. You can't be just being there and thinking the guys are gonna. You gotta earn respect. He was a young guy coming up in the league. You know, so it's like that everywhere. You know.
Yeah, but I think what you both are saying, what's important is that there's going to be that time. There's got to be that one time where, or multiple times where that person learns that it's time to change. It's time to change.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Because if not,
that's a constant theme with our conversation is like it comes. Hopefully, for some it doesn't come quickly, but you have to have that moment where you go, I need to change things.
Yeah, look at yourself in the mirror, like they say, right?
Yeah.
The same thing for me when I was not with the Islanders anymore. Unfortunately, they didn't handle the situation that I thought they would, and I was looking at myself in the mirror trying to figure out what happened, you know. And I thought to myself, I said, I don't have to change anything. I'm doing exactly. I did my job.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what though, that mirror piece is important, right? That's almost that reflection, that awareness piece, and going, yeah, like it's tough.
You want a good story? I did that to one of my junior kids in Bathurst once, and one day he was being, you know, arrogant and all that, and the night before I put a mirror in the room with like a paper be over it, and I said I wrote the thing behind this to help you with your game. So he lifted up and he looked at himself.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm nasty.
Hey, can I ask, what was his response? Like, I can just see that.
Yeah, he was shocked. He was shocked, and he changed his mindset after that. He says, "I'm the problem." I said, "It's right there." So either, you know, start listening to us, coaching staff, you know, and you're gonna go far.
Yeah.
But you know, these kids come in, they think, you know, they're drafted, they think they're stuff to them. It doesn't work like that. You know.
So Marc, you know that with us with HeadSet Sports, we're all about the mental side of the game, right? We are all about helping athletes empower themselves and learn how to empower themselves in the game. With everything that you have to do in terms of teaching kids and bringing guys to that next level, how much time and effort would you say is spent on that mental side of coaching?
90%, because the game's in their head.
Yeah.
Right. Technical is only about 10%, and 90% is the game. You gotta manage how you you know, your emotions. Your emotions is the big thing. Learn how to park it, like the guys say, or break the time down in 5-minute segments. Just little pieces of advice what to do. I have my guys writing in their blocker keywords like being at the top of the paint, compete, you know, so they don't have to worry about anything, because guys, when you start putting things in your head, you start thinking too much, and when you play often, you don't think as much. And when you're not playing often, like I had with the Islanders, we had 3 goalies, and I had Birubé that was the number 3 goalie, and he wasn't playing often, so it was harder for him to get in his game timing.
Yeah. I did an Instagram live with a person that's associated with HeadSet. His name is Colin Stevens.
Okay.
And he played at Union, and then he played a few years of pro, but he was a backup goalie at Union, he said yesterday, for 2 years. And I go, then how did you stay?
2 years, yeah.
2 years.
That's tough.
That's tough, right? And you mentioned Berube, who also like a backup for.
I had him for 2 years, like
2
that.
years. And he said that the practices were his games.
Yeah.
And he worked hard in practice and then kept track of all of his practices.
Right. Right.
And I thought that was something that's a mindset piece, because that's a long time to be a backup.
It's a long time, but it's tough on the guy. I feel bad. Now he's playing more regular. He's in the American Hockey League. He's doing his job. So I'm happy for him. He's playing, but
right.
It's tough. It's tough, sometimes the decisions that they take, I don't understand. I just don't question it. I just got to do what I got to do, make them sharp.
How do you help the backup? How do you help the backups stay when there is usually a number one person?
Usually the backup, I train him really intensely, knowing that the other guy's playing, so it keeps his edge. I keep him on a time. It's like I have to be on him all the time, just to keep him on sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just get a drill, repetition, stay on the ice, get first on the ice, last off the ice, let's do our stuff. That's usually what I do.
Yeah.
It's not more than that. I mean, you just got to keep them sharp.
Would you say let's go kind of junior on the way up, how many guys would you say work on the mental skills in junior, the younger guys?
Not a lot. I don't think a lot of the kids work on it at all, especially in juniors. Because they're all excited, they want to go to the next level, but they forget it's all like they say, it's cliche, but it's a process.
Right.
They have to work on their routine. They have to work on their mental preparation. So the routine is like a mental preparation. If you have it down really well, it's going to help you.
Yeah. And what we were talking about, Jay mentioned that most people who we work with don't have that routine.
Right.
Right. And you're saying it's absolutely necessary. You almost kind of need that to get to the next level.
Well, yeah, because if you're prepared, it's like anything. When we used to go to school and do our homework and in the study, then we were prepared for the exams that were coming. I mean, today it's not okay. Some people are gifted, but not a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah, and even those who are gifted will be challenged along the way in a career. So
it's the same thing. Yeah. So you got to be ready for anything. You have no choice. You don't know what's going to be thrown at you on that day.
Yeah, and you mentioned it's like 90% mental.
Yep.
You have a technical piece and physical piece, but the actual amount of time that someone spends working on mental skills is very little to zero. That's
for juniors. For juniors, yeah, but the pros are pro. They developed their own routine at that time, and they perfected the stuff they had to change. Like if I had to tape Halak or Bernier, I can see how they're preparing. I'll know if they're gonna have a good game or not.
Yeah. Well said.
It's all in the mindset, right? It is. It's all a mindset. I mean, then you got these specialized guys for. There's so many stuff today for the kids. They're very lucky. We didn't have that.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we're going back and forth with stories. How many times was it just they throw you in, they take you out, no one talks to you?
Well, I had a goalie, one of the top goalies in the queue. Well, we had. I gotta say, I don't like saying I. It's we because we're a team. We had a goalie that if he had, say, like I have my water bottle right here, he would put his water bottle next to his gear, but he believed that the water inside would help him. But if you change the bottle side, he'd have a bad game.
Wow.
So if you moved his bottle a little bit of inches, he wasn't having a good game. So you gotta like I tell the kids, you gotta know the difference between superstition and what's gonna help you in your mental game.
Yeah, that's a big thing. The superstition versus routine. Oh,
what side do you get dressed on, and what I had guys like that, and I had guys that had no routine go in nets and play a wonderful game. They had bad warm ups, they had a good game, or they had a good warm up, they had a bad game.
Yeah, and like you're saying, everyone has that recipe, right? Whatever that recipe is, but I still say like having someone to support you and teach you. A lot of times in sport, especially with goalies, you don't have that person to kind of teach you those parts, the mental skills, the character that you can build.
Well, it's the same thing in American Hockey League. The guys don't forget, in the juniors, you have your goalie coaches more often, but when you get to the AHL, they're not there anymore. They're very rarely around. So it's part-time. So the guys that are full-time, that's a good thing. But if they're part-time, the kids are always searching for what's wrong with their game, what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that.
I didn't know that until
I did
yesterday.
both. I
didn't know that until yesterday.
Yeah.
At College Stevens, he said in East Coast in the AHL, they didn't have the goalie coach there as much as they did in college or junior.
No, the NHL is full-time, and they made me do NHL and AHL. So I was mostly in the NHL, because of that was my goal, and I was pushing for it. But I felt bad for the guys at the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
I would call them time to time. What are you doing? Just keeping an eye on them. But at the end of the day, the DHL is all about development, and that's what sometimes I don't understand things, so I just don't keep pushing.
Yeah. But like you're saying, that's the development piece. That's where you need it even more. It feels like.
Yeah, because you're preparing them to go up to the squad. If you need them at the right time, they'll get to perform for you.
Right.
Right. I had some arguments there. So, one guy's telling me to stay up, the other guy's telling me to come down, make up your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go see them. But, at the end of the day, I did my work. I was proud of it.
Yeah. Well done.
So, Marc, let me ask you this, right? Because we love the stories, and in no way, shape, or form do you have to give names or any of that stuff. But I'm curious to know, what was one of the most challenging situations you had with all the different guys you worked with?
Well, with the Islanders, it was one of their Swedish goalies back then. The kid that won you'll probably know, he won the World Championships. And then we had him in development camp. A few days games were going on. And even in practice, I could feel there was something that I don't think we're seeing eye to eye. It happens, right? We're not all perfect. And during the games, he got destroyed. During the games, they were shooting high on him. The gloves weren't active, nothing. And then after practice, I went up to him. I said, "What do you think of your game during the week?" He said, "I think I'm doing pretty good." I gave him the what? And I told him, I said, "You better start working on your hands, because I don't know you, but guys are coming down the wing and they're ripping him by your shoulder and it's going in." Well, he says, "I like my style," and ever since then, I've never seen him again.
Mm-hmm.
So he was, I guess he had a closed mind.
Yeah.
I was just trying to, wake him up. You got Bouvier, and you got the other guy there coming up the wing and taking a shot high glove, and it's going in. But that's a straight shot. It shouldn't be going in. That's your bread and butter, And then you got a kid that's from Lithuania, not drafted, invited to camp. This guy's is stopping everything on the other side. Go figure. You know what I mean? So,
can I ask you, how was this other goalie in regards to the coachability part?
He was tough. He was tough. Yeah, he was tough. He was mindset on his own game and the way he wanted to play. That's fine. I was starting, and Mike Dunham took care of him. Mike has more experience with me on that one, but he agreed. He told me, says, try and work more on your gloves and stuff like that when you go back to Sweden. So he backed me up. So that helps. You know what I mean? That kid doesn't know me from a hole in the wall. So
right.
So he was challenging me at the same time. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not surprised.
So now I gotta flip the channel now. Who
I'm gonna get shot for that one. La Muriello's gonna call me.
Oh, I love it. So who would you say one of your successes are? One that kind of grabbed your heart, that special one that maybe worked hard, listened, was grateful for your time and your effort.
Oh, Yarrow. Yeah. We're best friends. We're almost like brothers, But I told him, I said, it's dangerous. You don't want to be too close. We always want to keep that line. But he's been there for me. I've been there for him a lot of times too. Like I said, we're like family. So if he needs anything, he knows I'm there. And I always said it to the goalies, but a lot of them don't take it. So.
So can I ask what's so special about him? Like I know there's a close relationship, but what did you see in him?
Well, the first time I saw him, I knew he was going up. I knew it. I can see it right the way he battled, how he competed, and plus he came from. Don't forget his upbringing. Their parents weren't rich, and the guy always worked hard for what he wanted, and you see the difference in the guys.
Yeah.
Same thing for me, or same thing for other people. That you work hard and you appreciate what you're doing, and it's paying off. And he always had that competitive level has always been there. Always been there.
So tell us a little bit about how you met him, right? And this is, and we're talking about the incredible Yaroslav Halak, right? Who I think him and his goalie partner just won the Jennings, I believe.
Yeah, do you won the second Jennings again? Yeah. Good for him.
Sorry, unbelievable, right? The best goalie tandem in the league with him and Luka Rask. So tell us a little bit about when you met him, how you met him, and the story of the relationship that you have with him.
When I met him was in a rink in Montreal. It was my first time I got my job with Lewiston with Mr. Jaudoin, and we went to the Montreal development camp, and I had to see Rolly at the same time. And I went up in the stands, and I was watching all the goalies practice, and I was watching Yarrow. And then I went downstairs with Clem and went present myself. By that time, he had yellow hair about that time because he had he had bleached blonde hair, and he was a skinny dude. And I came up to him and said, "I'm going to be your new goalie coach." And he was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" The way he was looking. And we just took it off from there. I kept at him every day. I was at development camp, watching him perfect his technical skills with Rolly. And Rolly would come up to me and tell me what to work on, what to look out for. So I'm a student of the game. I'd be there day in and day out. They had to rip me out of that chair. So that was the way. That's my mentality, So, but that's how we connected, and we kept together. Just a long story short, one time this one's a good one. I was in Bathurst coming back from an 8-hour trip, and Yarrow had called me when I was on the bridge in Montreal and he says, "Well, things are not going well in Hamilton." I said, "Well, okay, well, stay there. I'm coming."
Oh, wow.
And I kept going all the way to Hamilton to see what was wrong with him.
Wow.
And I had him, sit down outside the rink. We'd talk and stuff like that. So there was nothing I would do for him. But when you got a kid that wants it, I'll do for him. I'll go to war for him. But if the kid does not, it's tough when the kid doesn't want it. And
For our listeners, explain how far that is from where you were.
What I did first, I was in Bathurst, so that was an 8-hour drive. I spent a week in Bathurst. I was coming back after an 8-hour drive, and I kept going. I told my wife, I'll see you maybe in a few days. So I kept going. I told her I was going. It was an extra 5 to 6 hour drive to Hamilton, Ontario, where the Bulldogs were playing.
That is incredible. Is incredible.
So a few times I helped him out.
Yeah, but that's the relationship, right? For you to go above and beyond, that's huge for him.
It is. It is. You know what? And look where he is today. I cannot ask for anything more.
Yeah.
I saw his kids grow up. I saw his baby. It's fun. We've seen him grow up and mature.
Yeah, that's the give back, right? That's the give back of.
But he's still a big kid inside because we laugh at each other when we see each other all the time.
Yeah,
we're like these little kids. We get all giggly.
Would you still work with him on the skills parts, or is it just now it's changed the relationship?
When he needs me, he calls me in the summer, and I'll go. And usually it's more on video now.
Okay.
Because today with the technology, he's sending. I asked him to send me some of his clips of the season. I'll look at some stuff now. But he's got a goalie coach now. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean me.
Yeah.
He's 30 years old. Doesn't mean me.
Yeah.
But we keep in touch. So I'm just happy for him.
So what's it like for you when you're working with someone and now they get the big break and they get that jump?
Well, for me, it was just I was excited for him. Just excited because you remember the good days, you remember the bad days, but at the end of the day, when you see your kids evolve, all the kids evolve. That was my paycheck. Yeah. It wasn't the money; it was the paycheck. It was seeing them actually get to where they wanted to be, and you got at least a little help in it. A lot of people don't see that. They don't see that. Because it's a black and white world, hockey. You got some good things, and you got some interesting stuff, I can say. But the ones that stick with it just keep like you said, the positivity. Same thing for, for anything else. Like now I'm looking for work. Been 3 years. I got to keep the positive going. I know I do the job, and I just got to keep that focus.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Life is like that.
Yeah, for sure. We're all performers in what we do, right? It's just,
well, that's what I said to one of my kids once on the ice. I said, "You want to be a spectator, or you want to be a performer?
Yeah.
You decide." I left the ice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I know.
Powerful words. It's powerful.
And I whacked my stick on the board. I was mad, and I left. It wasn't. I was just joking. But everybody thought I was mad.
I love it.
Oh yeah, you gotta play Joker face sometimes.
Oh, I gotta wonder too what it's like for you on the tough days when you're working with guys who are struggling and they're having a hard time getting together, right?
Yeah.
That getting to know you, right? And what a big heart you have.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? How do you handle it?
Well, with the kids, I mean, I take my time. I take them out of the net, and I just talk to them. I remind them, of the 2 words we had worked on the board: the mental part, the attitude, this the talent. I said, you're not giving me attitude. You can see it, So I tell them, you got to come back to that. You got to go back to your basics. I call it maintenance day, so we just do maintenance on that. Back to your basic. Push hard, stop hard, square, track the puck, follow your rebound. Do everything the right way, because if you do everything the right way, it's going to come back to you. I usually do 3 or 4 days on that before they put them back in nets.
And it sounds like there's a mental one too in regards to maintenance.
Yeah.
Attitude, and there's those different layers of attitude. Go back to those basics that make you successful.
It's like anything else, right? I mean, same thing when you send your CV. You got to look at your CV, make sure it's okay. Oh, maybe I forgot something right now. Clean it up, send it back out again.
Yeah. I like that. It's that maintenance, right? It's that process of just preparing, performing, debriefing, preparing, performing. It's just a constant.
It's a constant nonstop.
It's
a nonstop. You see it in the kids. I mean, the kids that really struggle, you don't know what's going on. Maybe their parents are divorced, especially the young kids. Maybe, like I said, parents, everybody's not there. Like the families are not together anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a negative. They don't have a father figure. We don't know what's going on at home. We don't know what's going on. That's the biggest thing. So you got to dig down deep and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So
girlfriend break up with you or what?
Yeah.
Don't put it to the side here.
So let me ask you this: if you had a tool like we created with HeadSet that can allow you to get some deeper understanding of what that kid is working on, month to month, how helpful would that be?
I think it would be very helpful. You don't have to worry. They're looking after their own. It's like they're scheduling their own thing, their time with that headset, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have to prepare themselves. So it's like kids. I do a camp with the kids have diabetes. It's unreal how their day preparation is, and how mature they are, because they have to go through their process, right? So it's the same thing with the headset. It's a process.
Yeah.
You put it on, you put your things on, you prepare yourself, then get to practice, do your routine. It helps, it'll benefit in every different way.
Yeah. And we saw it as an enhancer, that the person who's in that position could.
Well, that's it.
That's the combination, right? That you have the system plus the human being with a big heart and knowledge coming together. It can be that much more powerful for that young athlete.
Well, that's because then it reassures them. It's like remember Snoopy? You got Linus with his what has he got? He's got his towel or something.
He's got a towel, blanket.
He's got his tank blanket and he's ready to go. Take that blanket away, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So
when you think of it, that's what it is. It's a security. We all need it. Same thing for coaches.
Oh,
that's why I talk to head coaches and did you go through this, or what would you do? I was always asking questions. With Capuano or Doug Wade or Garth or Mike, I call Rolly just to make sure, to make sure maybe you're on the right path, or maybe you made a mistake. We're not all perfect.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great tool for the guys.
Well, I got to say to you guys, this has been so much fun, right? And I've been looking forward to this, for us getting together for so long. But today we're going to do something a little bit different than we've ever done before. And I got to let you know that I've taken the time to prepare for what we're going to about to experience right now. I've had to do a lot of working out, a lot of stretching.
Perfect.
Preparing myself, and just give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Got it.
He's going to put a gear on.
Oh, yeah. I think headband.
Yeah.
He's going to put the headband, tape up the fingers.
Yeah.
I've been ready for this. I
feel it already.
No idea.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
There it is.
I'm looking forward to talking to a professional goalie coach, an NHL goalie coach, because I'm thinking with
I love it.
a little bit of working out,
I want to see the stance. I want to see the stance.
That'd be nice, eh?
Oh, yeah. Let's show us the stance then. Not just the helmet.
I got one leg that's not so good, but
That's okay.
See,
That's like me.
Marc hears it all the time from goalies.
That's like me. That's amazing. Nice helmet.
Oh,
It's not the same anymore.
it's a little tight. It's a little. You gotta undo the sides.
Ooh,
Oh,
hold on. Marc,
Yeah, get the water bottle in there. There you go.
Let me tell you. Oh my God. We need
awesome.
an energy drink sponsor.
Oh,
I need this.
But you know what? What's the best part? We have camps. We do the adult camps, and they're the most fun.
I love them.
Oh, yeah.
I had a guy that was, he passed away a couple of years ago. He was 66 years old, and he was on his knees all the time. I said, I can't remember his name. I used to tell him, take a break. He says, with everything you're teaching me, I'll never take a break. It was so cute. And I just here's some water bottle. I felt so bad, but he was so passionate about it. And it comes from him and the other guys too. I was, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun watching the
you gotta love that. You gotta love that.
I love it. I love it.
It doesn't matter if it's just that passion and excitement.
We get in some good stories, I tell you.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
And I'll tell you there's one that was good too. One kid had challenged me. I remember one. This is good at Jacques Martin's hockey school, and the poor kid got a shot off the knee, and he was crying, and he was being a little bit annoying,
dramatic.
And so I told him, I said, go in the corner over there, wait till I come back. Guess what happened? One guy took a shot off the post on the same knee again. So it's like karma. I felt so bad. But now you're going to listen.
Now you're going to listen.
Oh, my God. There's still lots of stories they can
Oh, that's great.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Then we had one kid that we were trying to figure out all week how come he's having a hard time skating. His feet, the parents put the feet opposites.
Oh, the
skates.
Feet.
Yeah, he was like 7 years old. He kept telling his feet hurt. We were like, what do you mean your feet hurt? We just looked at it one morning as he's came by. So his feet are not straight.
Oh, that's why. Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Now we get it.
So Marc, I had one of those. So I was teaching in a hockey school, and there was a 7-year-old that came, right? The little guys. And on the third day, we knew something was going to happen because the mom was walking back and forth, right?
Oh,
watching everything. And her kid, every 2 seconds, boom, down. It's like the sniper was just on him the whole thing, right? Yeah. So finally, I go over to the guys and I said, "Hey, have you looked at little Johnny over here, right?"
Yeah.
Hey, he's the greatest kid, but he's a disaster. Like, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll go get him because I think mom's on the warpath now, right? And I picked the little guy up, I put him on the boards, and he's not complaining, big smile. I go, "You okay?" "Yeah, all right." I go, "How you doing today, buddy?" He goes, "Okay, coach." I go, "Is everything fitting okay? Is all your gear?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Just my feet a little hurt." And I look down, and the skates are on the opposite feet.
Yeah.
And
my God.
All of a sudden, before I can say anything, boom, the mom is right there. She's on the bench. And she's like, "Are you the guy in charge?" I'm like, well, she goes, because I'm telling you right now, if things don't change, I want all my money back. Because nobody's watching my kid. Nobody's helping my kid. My kid's all over the place.
Oh.
But I'm so happy you're here. Just want to show you something. Keep it between us.
Yeah.
Look at his feet. And she looked down, and you saw the feet like this. And the little kid looked at his mom, and he said, I tried to tell you. Can't make this stuff up, right? Can't make this stuff up.
Okay, I got this one for you. You're like, this is the last one. I was at camp a long time ago, and we noticed that one of the kids wasn't paying attention to us. So one morning, I was skating alone, and the kid goes by me, and he's talking. So I went by him. I said, "Who are you talking to?" He said, "My dad." I said, "What do you mean talking to your dad?" He had a microphone in his hair, and his dad was up in the corner telling him what to do.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
No wonder. I said to myself,
wow.
Yeah, we had the dad come down.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Marc, you are the best.
Right.
Thank you.
Again, we could do a series of this. Are you kidding me?
We can. Yeah,
we can do a reality show. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is great. Pete, thank you.
We can do video shows too.
Thank you for making the time, guys.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jay, thanks.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Thanks, Marc.
Love you guys.
Take care.
We'll talk.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.